welcome to our first edition of HCISD Alumni. Today I'm here with Alejos Salazar, who is a 2013 South alumni. Thank you for joining me today.
Thank you for having me.
Okay, so I'm going to ask you a couple questions here. To start off, I'm going to ask you, what inspired you to come back and teach at a school you once attended?
Well, it was during the pandemic. I was working a job working for a network company, and it was during that I felt that there was something else I needed to do. And in that time, I was notified that there was a computer science position opened up here at Harlingen South. At the time, I didn't go to school for teaching. I went to school for software engineering.
Okay.
But I did know about ACP's alternative certification programs, and so I decided to do that, get my certification, and come teach here at Harlingen South.
So how does it feel now to be a teacher where you once were a student?
It definitely is a different experience because when you're a student here, you have all your activities, you have your own expectations, but then you go home and that's it. As a teacher, it's definitely different. It's a different way to walk through the hallways because you're no longer the student that the teachers would look at and say hi. You're a colleague that say hi, how's it going?
Okay, so how much has the school changed since you were a student here?
Layout-wise, it hasn't changed at all. It's still the same school I saw when I graduated from here. The same cafeteria with the auditorium, the same gym, the same classrooms. The only thing may have changed is maybe the faces that I once saw when I left here in 2013.
So do you find it easier or harder to connect with students because of you once sitting in their place?
I definitely find it easier because I may have graduated from here in 2013, so it's been over 10 years. Sad. But at the same time, I still remember being in those seats, being in their spots, knowing about having to do my activities, my homework, my classwork, and stuff like that. And so it definitely influences the way I teach my course and the way I give my work to my students.
Okay. And how do you navigate relationships with former teachers who are now your colleagues?
I do have colleagues that definitely kind of still saw me as a student when I first came back, but they also had the expectations for me because now that I'm a teacher, I have to meet teacher expectations. But there are some colleagues I still work with on the regular, such as Mr. Almanza.
Yes, I know him. So what challenges have you faced returning as a teacher?
Definitely one of the changes was having to meet the new expectations for teachers that have changed since I've started. As always, teachers always have the expectations that they have to, get the students ready for the next stage and make sure they leave here with knowledge. But there have been some changes since I was a student that teachers have had to adapt since I left. And so me coming back as a teacher now, I've never had any teaching education myself, but I've been involved. I had to learn the new expectations and adapt them to how I expected to teach versus how I need to teach.
Okay. So what advice would you give to current students who may want to return as educators here someday?
I would recommend that to first go out there and get some experience, even if you stay here in the Valley, just sometimes gathering that life experience and bringing it to the classroom can make a difference with helping students figure out what they want to do or how they want to approach things.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's all the questions I have for you today. So thank you so much, Mr. Salazar, for sharing your story. And that wraps up our first edition of HCISD Alumni. I'm your host, Devine Galvan. Up until next time.